topic of the Muslim sisters, we went over it, just briefly, kind of some of the struggles the Muslim sisters are dealing with today. Um, we know that a lot of Muslim sisters in the Western countries, are struggling with, wearing the hijab, and then also, even falling into, haram relationships and things that end up being, heartbroken and things like that. So could we talk about that a little bit? And right after that, I want to ask you if it's permissible, to get lip fillers or also lash extensions. That was one of the questions we got.
Yeah, so first off, for our sisters, you guys are the true flag bearers of Islam. When you walk around with your niqab and your hijab and your abaya and your gloves and your modest clothing, you are the visual representation. And I gotta say, you're holding it down better than the brothers. May Allah bless you. Stay on it. And if you're not there, get on it. Hijab in Islam is to honor you. When you see a woman dressed in an inappropriate manner, showing off her body and her beauty, men don't look at her and say, "Oh, I want a
It
wife
really
that."
ruins her worth.
It does, right? Nobody looks at that and says, "That's the future mother of my children." Men just want to use her and abuse her and use her for some horrible, filthy things and then leave her. And many of those women that I grew up with that are not Muslim, that I went to school with, ended up in very difficult lives, even though they were super popular in high school, but they ended up alone and with children that different fathers and all that kind of a hardship. You don't want that. You're more valuable than that. You're more honored than that. Your beauty is not for you to throw around with every Tom, Dick, and Harry to look at. It is preserved, like the most precious of gems, the most beautiful of diamonds. They don't just throw them around the street where everybody's handing, hey, check this out, throw it out. Nah, but a fake piece of glass that just looks like a diamond, yeah, they toss it around. Nobody cares who looks at it. But if you want to go look at, the Cartier diamond, you have to go through a safe. It's covered up, it's preserved. Only a few people can even look at it, let alone touch it. That's how valuable a Muslim woman is.
It's really important.
Know your value, respect them.
Yeah.
Regarding your question about lip fillers and fake extensions and so on, in Islam we have a principle that we don't change the creation of Allah because the creation of Allah is beautiful. Now, if a woman wants to beautify herself for her husband within limits, nothing wrong with that, right? If between themselves in the privacy of their bedroom they want to dress a certain way or make up a certain way, have at it. Allah has made that halal for you. In fact, there's reward in it. But nowadays we see women really kind of changing even themselves. They're putting poison into themselves with Botox and putting, they look like sometimes they look like they've been beat up, like the lips are all swollen unnaturally, their eyes are swollen unnaturally. It doesn't even look good. And Allah has forbidden us to change His creation. So that is not permissible. But beautifying yourself for your husband at home and for a husband to look good for his wife in the privacy of their room, all good, right? That's where it should be. But changing the creation of Allah, getting implants and all this stuff, and you'll never be happy. You get implants, a lot of times they burst. I work in the med device industry. It's quite common and dangerous, right? And even when you do that, it's not going to change who you are. It's not going to delay aging. It's just going to make you look fake, like a doll that's, plastic. Instead, naturally, woman, stay in shape. Make sure that I'm not saying go to haram places to work out, but even in the confines of the house, or in women only gyms, or in ways, stay in shape. Many Muslim women don't stay in shape, and that's a problem as well. Look beautiful for your husband. When your husband sees you, when he comes home, you should look nice. Many Muslim women, when they're hanging out at home with their husband, they look like they just woke up, don't even brush their teeth, don't comb their hair. But when they want to go to a party, all that spray paint comes out, makeup comes out. That's not where it's for. It should be for your husband. And many Muslim men, they don't take care of themselves physically. They should, to the best of their ability, to look good for their wives.
That's a great